Will Stancil and other fake liberals, there are so many fake liberals. I just had a discussion with my brother about this. My sister's a MAGA, right? And, a lot of MAGAs have blinders on. They assume everyone thinks just like them. They're intrinsically closed people. So, a key function to the way the MAGA thinks is if rich liberals saw what I saw, they'd be just like me. They'd also be super Christian and intolerant. And it's like, you know what? She's right. I don't disagree with that. If most rich liberals couldn't isolate themselves in a ethnically homogenous wealth enclave, they'd probably go MAGA. But rather than her understand, that doesn't mean she's right. It just means most people are shit. She takes some evidence she's valid versus they're fake. Like I was comparing it to the ironic line in Junkhead or Godsmack by Alice in Chains, where Lane Staley sings, "If you try dope, you'd be an addict like me." Like, he's singing it ironically. He's not saying, "See, it's fine." He's saying, like, he's trying to justify why he's an addict. Like, the only reason you're not an addict is you knew it. The difference is the MAGA will make that point, and rather than say this is a sign everyone's fucking bullshit and selfish and evil, and a lot of these liberals are fake, they literally take it as validation. I'm right in my horrible views, right? So, with that said, a lot of these liberals are fake, selfish shits who want to be just like MAGA. They want to oppress people, they want to hurt people, they want to dominate and take shit they don't deserve, but they want to feel good about it, pretend to be ethical, right? And you can see these types crawling out of the sewer when Will Stancil posts, right? Let me get something clear. Any measure, any statistic that says people are wealthier, while the most vulnerable growing more homeless, when the full consistency of the data, is not an index of prosperity. It is an index of wealth inequality. And wealth inequality, when that is rising to critical degrees where the most vulnerable are now going homeless to the point homelessness rates increased 18% in 1 year. That is any statistic you have about most getting wealthier is not a sign that society is fine. It is a sign that society has a bad crisis of wealth inequality. And when there's a crisis of wealth inequality, it's just like fashion. It's going to come get you too. Unless you are sure you're with the people benefiting and you know for a fact you're in lock with them, it will get you too. Just like fascism and authoritarianism does. So this is the biggest issue with Will Stancil's statistics. They'll say like 99.6% of poor homes have a refrigerator now. And if that statistic exists alongside, but the most poor people lost a house altogether, you cannot say we're becoming wealthier. You can say we're becoming more wealth unequal. Something in society that's making that bottom not be able to have a house and is now homeless is responsible or related to why the rest of the people are getting shit. So is that really a sign you're getting wealthier or that you're getting more unequal? And here's the thing about wealth inequality. It's just like fashion, just like authoritarianism. You can't imagine it's going to come for you. Well, I have this job. I'm a chief officer of filing papers at this company, and like those losers couldn't keep up, but it's going to come for you too. The only people who can reasonably think it's not going to come for them is if you have a job like running the machines of the billionaires. Like you run the machines to read people's thoughts and shit, then it might not come for you. But everyone else is just like authoritarian. When you see them taking some people's rights, it's coming for you. When you see billionaires making a joke to hunt and rape Nazis, it's coming for you. When you see billionaires assigning random Hispanics as gang members are going to take their rights, it's coming for you. They start with these people, so you're not worried, thinking you're with them. You're not the target. And then in 50 years, oh shit, I have a brain scanner in my head. I can't fucking talk. Same thing with wealth inequality, okay? When you see wealth inequality, what that means is the people who have the most are rigging shit to start with the weakest, and they're taking their shit. And you can't see it coming for you because if you're not in that demographic, you can buy an extra fridge. But what's doing this is automation. With more and more machines being responsible for labor. Fewer and fewer you are going to be in the demographic where you're benefiting from the inequality. And more you're going to be in the bottom, homeless. Well, Will Stancil, CA piece of shit, is sitting there saying we're wealthier than ever because these people are getting wealthier. And any statistic about US homes isn't a measure of wealth if that is occurring alongside more people becoming homeless. You can only say it's a measure of wealth if homelessness is stable or reducing. Wow, things are getting better. That's an increased wealth for the people. But if more people are becoming homeless while the ones with homes are doing better, all that's telling me is wealth inequality is increasing. And just like fascism, wealth inequality comes for everyone unless you're like get a high level dick sucker job tinkering with the machines for the billionaires or something. So just know that any statistic Will Stancil posts that isn't acknowledging the most vulnerable are doing critically worse off to the point they don't even have homes anymore. Never mind the far lower levels of economic struggling than actually going homeless. That's not a thing. While they're saying a good chunk of people are wealthier, and he's trying to pass it off as measures of prosperity rather than measures of inequality. Then just know that every time you read his shit, this guy's entire job is to make you as MAGA-like as possible, to fight the culture war, to believe an insane narrative. The most broke, ignorant, powerless people did this. Not the billionaires. They didn't plan. No. It's the poorest people, the insatiable thirst for hate that did it. Free market of ideas on rigged social media algorithms. Free market rigged algorithms. To the point Blue Sky advertises theirs not rigged. That's what he'll say. He'll say the poorest Nazis did this to us. He wants to sell you a form of MAGA for a lib, where instead of looking at the billionaire, you're looking at some broke, I don't like Hispanics. It's like, that person sucks, but they're powerless and irrelevant. And the billionaire can crush them, flick them, or uplift them. All right? And they're uplifting them to use their incredible stupidity as a plausible excuse, a blanket for the rest of you why this is happening. They use scapegoats. You're using broke ass ignorant whites the way MAGA uses minorities. You are like you're attributing this magical power you have. You really think they did MAGA, not the billionaires, and they're using them as a cover and a shield. Who you should blame? Poor whites have been scapegoats for the rich since this country started, bro. They used to tie poor whites up and let the Indians eat them. For real. They would sell poor whites on a fucking block in indentured servitude. The only difference from actual slavery is they could be freed one day, but they were sold and abused and mistreated and cared. Like, they have you projecting your shit on poor whites the way they have poor whites projecting on minorities, and none of y'all are waking up. None of these billionaires are on your side. You still have not woken up. And any Will Stancil statistic he posts where he's like, the people who aren't going homeless are wealthier, we're more prosperous than ever, and they're acting like you don't have to factor in the totality of the society and how the most vulnerable are doing. That is a right wing. That is not a progressive view. And that's actually a measure of wealth inequality. Okay, not prosperity. Prosperity is not what most well-off people have. It's by the overall tone of society in terms of wealth, material security for all people. So if you're most vulnerable are going homeless while you're less vulnerable have an extra SUV, that's just telling me that side's paying more unequal. And just like fascism, inequality always comes back to you. Unless if you're just a middling meh paper pusher of shittown, corporation incorporated, it'll come for you. Just give it 50 years of this automation bullshit they're trying to do. You'll be on UBI too. Oh yeah. But keep listening to the CIA, Will Stancil. We're wealthier than ever, and progressives are hysterical and psychotic how they care about homelessness increasing as if that matters. Who cares about the poor? I'm a progressive. Piece of shit.